Good morning, everybody. Shift your mindset here. New episode, and we start the week with the good news. This episode is good news. Why? Let's dive into this. Lancaster Jehovah Witness Lancaster Jehovah Witness elder sentenced to prison for molesting congregant children. We're talking about Norman Aviles Carriga, 45 years old, of Lancaster, and he was one among 5 members of the Jehovah Witnesses in Pennsylvania who are indicted by a state grand jury. Why? Because they were using their clerical positions to sexually abuse children. He is convicted now on charges of aggravated indecent assault, and endangering the welfare of children. The good thing is they had a good judge. Why? Because Judge Jeffrey Wright told Norman, the Jehovah Witness elder, that if he thinks that his sentence is unfair, he should look at it this way. It's the same amount of time his victims had to wait for justice. The judge, Wright, sentenced him, that elder, to 11.5 to 25 years in prison on 12 charges of sexual assault against children in families that were hosting him from 1999 till 2003. Like I said, he was among 5 members of the Jehovah Witnesses who were indicted at the grand jury. So the girls came forward. But the girls, of course, came forward to their mom. They told their mother about what happened. And here are the shocking truth about Jehovah Witnesses. And I'm ashamed that I was one of the Jehovah Witnesses. But these things, the child sexual abuse things, were for me my biggest red flag why I wanted to disassociate from the religion. These things that popped up a few years ago, 2019, like that, were for me the last things I had to hear to finally have the courage to leave the Jehovah Witness organization. Why? They told their mother, but she didn't do anything about it. And that former elder who assaulted those kids tried to discredit the girls, saying they were demons and were only delaying their baptisms. So he's not only denying it, the mother wasn't taking any action, but he also put those girls in a bad light, saying they were demons and that they were just delaying their baptisms. There you see how important the baptisms are in Jehovah Witnesses. And if you're not baptized, you get the guilt trip of delaying it, of loving worldly things or whatever, but they do anything to discredit you. Not only denying it, but they go the other way around. They go into the offense of discredit those victims. How bad of a person do you have to be? Not only denying, but also blaming it on the girls, that they are demons. How can you say, if you are a Jehovah Witness, that someone is a demon? But he is an elder, and you have ranks in the Jehovah Witness. So who are they gonna believe if you have a dispute with somebody? If you are an elder and you're having a dispute with someone who is just a rank and file, they always believe the elder because he's more spiritual, mature, and he's an example in the congregation, and oh no, that can't be him, and he's always nice, and blah blah blah. They always play the trick of someone who's above you in the ranks. It's despicable, people. So, family members, 25 family members and friends of both of the victims, they watched them getting sentenced, and many of them gave them testimonies. And I want to thank you people who are giving a testimony for your courage, for your bravery, because I know it can be, you can have a lot of shame, and you are discredited by people. People doubt you. People say you make up those stories maybe, but you hold on and you are strong. And I salute you from the deepest of my heart for your bravery, and that we can put those people to prison, because that's the only place they are belonging right now. But another thing in the news article struck my mind, and here are we going again, people. Another Jehovah Witness elder told the court that the girls were likely lying, and that the judge should take that into consideration. So you have one of the 5 members indicted by a grand state jury, and then you have another elder. I don't know if it's one of them who are also convicted or indicted by the grand jury, or it's an elder from his congregation who is defending him in a worldly court, and say that the girls were likely lying, and also give the judge an assignment to take it into consideration. You have to take that into consideration. In what world are you living, elder, that you are defending someone in court? You're not an attorney. What are you doing in court? To testify in court. In my own congregation, I had it also. When I was a young boy, when I was 15, someone got assaulted in the Kingdom Hall by another sister. A sister assaulted another sister outside of the Kingdom Hall in private time. But it was also a court case. And there were also elders who were backing up, who were supporting the one who assaulted the other one. So not sticking up for the victim, but they were defending the one who committed the assault. People, what are you thinking? So, it's good news that he is gone. The judge, I salute him also, because in this article, the judge addressed the 3 abused women, calling them heroes and saying their persistence to seek justice despite the long road they faced put him in awe. At least you and the truth both win, he said. the judge also concluded in the end. The judge addressed the people who were supporting Aviles Garriga, the elder of the Jehovah Witnesses, who sentenced to 11.5 years to 25 years in prison. He addressed the people supporting him and saying, despite all the positive things they had to say about that elder, they never uttered a word of support for the 3 women who were vindicated in court or the families. He said it was a sign that not much has changed at the church in the years since the abuse began. And he hit the hammer on the head. The nail on the head, how do you say it? He was so right. So instead of feeling empathy, compassion, also love for the victims, no, the Jehovah Witnesses who were supporting this elder only talked about that the girls likely were lying and that the judge should take that into consideration, but they never had the decency to address those girls that they are sorry that this happened. So they are not caring about you personally. If you are molested, if you are sexually assaulted, they don't care, because the reputation of the Jehovah Witness religion is the highest good for them. You're just collateral damage, a war casualty, whatever you want to call it. But they don't have the decency to sympathize with what those girls were going through growing up. They are robbed from a normal, healthy, safe childhood. Their own mother didn't believe their stories. How would you feel if you have the courage to say something to your parents, what is not a nice thing to say, because you feel ashamed, you feel dirty, you feel violated, you feel guilty maybe even. And then you trust your parent and they turn you down. If you were talking about traumas, how much trauma are you giving your child? How much do they have to suffer before you believe them? But no, we're gonna believe an elder. And he's one of the 5 who are indicted. They are elders. And they misused their position to get access to little children and rob them from their youth. And you have the nerves as an other elder to defend that animal, because another word I can't find right now, to defend that animal, that man, in a courtroom and say that the girls are lying. Just say, I don't think he has done anything wrong. Why wouldn't you say that as an elder? Or he's an exemplary elder and we don't think he's capable of doing those horrible things. And just put an end to that sentence. But no, instead of just saying, we don't think he has done that, you're gonna say to a judge that the girls are lying, you're gonna point fingers to the other party, you're gonna make them look bad again, because they cried for help but no one in the congregation helped them. And now in a courtroom they even get pointed fingers at that they are the ones who are in fault. So you push them even further into their misery. Luckily, guys, luckily, we have a judgment system outside of the Jehovah Witnesses. A judgment system with a good judge, an empathic judge, a compassion judge, because he's saying, you only had positive things to say about that elder, supporting people of that elder. You only have to say positive things about them, about him, but you couldn't even get it through your mouth. Some words of support of the victims. JW should have love for everybody. But in the courtroom they show their true colors. People, if you just imagine that courtroom before your eyes, and you have Jehovah Witnesses going this far to protect the organization, instead of feeling, they're not feeling even 1% of compassion for the victims who had to wait 25 years to get justice. Walk a mile in their shoes, that they have the bravery, the courage to stand up, to take this long road of 25 years to get your justice. And it's only justice on paper, because if they could choose, they want everything to go away instead of that sentence he was getting. But he robbed them of their childhood, of their dignity, of their being a joyful, loving child on this world. They were robbed from being a child. They were assaulted. They will never forget this as long as they live. And the only justice they get now is that someone is going to be sentenced to prison for only 11 to 25 years. So it's a bit of a relief from them, and I'm happy for them. I congratulate them for this victory, but they never get their lives back as it should be. And you guys are defending a monster, and even are telling the judge that he has to take something into consideration because you don't want to look bad as an organization. But where is your love for every individual on this earth who has his birthright to exist, to create, to live their life? And you are defending someone who has robbed them from their whole childhood till this day. But hey, I want to end on a positive note. Guys, open a beer, take a glass of wine, and let's celebrate this victory that one Jehovah Witness is behind bars. And that's the place where he should be right now. Thank you guys for watching. See each other on the next episode.